What's up, everyone? I'm back doing another big project on the S14. So I'll show you a little bit about what I'm actually doing right now. Let's dive in. So far, I have like the air box out, the radiator, clutch fan, the hoses and all that junk. And I got the valve cover off, so just hiding this and draping it over that. Basically what I'm doing is, when I did my oil pan, probably a month ago, I noticed that the lower timing guide broke apart and was in my oil pan. I'll show you what that looks like on a spare block here. So you got the timing tensioner arm, and then between these two bolt holes right here, there's a plastic guide, which actually I do have that one off here. So basically it sits like that, and your timing chain comes down from that sprocket. This is the back timing chain, by the way, for the crank. It goes along this, and basically what that does is that just makes it so it doesn't slap anything or make any noise against this. Luckily, this is what keeps tension on your chain so it doesn't get loose, the tensioner in here. This is still good. I'm gonna replace it anyway, but this is still good, so that's not too bad. I know, this is all the junk I have in the ground right now. I know a lot of people are saying that that's kind of normal, that happens a lot, and people drive it for years and don't have any problems, and the KAs, no matter what motor or car it's in or whatever, they always make slapping noises. But I got a whole new kit, so hopefully I can stop that and this thing will run for another X amount of miles. As you can see, I also figured while I was in there, I might as well get an aluminum radiator that, you know, get rid of the factory one, because this has those plastic end tanks that like to break, and that's not good. So in total, I spent probably close to $800. So here's the new timing cover with oil pump, new water pump with pulley. Obviously you can tell it goes right there, so that's pretty cool. Got a whole new kit. This was only like 120 bucks. Look, it comes with the sprockets for the cams, it comes with crankshaft sprocket, the sprocket that mates up to the middle of the head, all these O-rings and whatnot. Comes with both tensioners and new timing guide arm. And this is the one that I broke out of my car. This is the version 2, I believe, where it has a metal in the back. So hopefully this is a lot better. You know, the one that's updated like this one, having the metal there, even if this plastic broke, that metal should be there, so it's not slapping anything else besides that, so whatever. Oh, I also got, in here, you can't really see them, but motor mounts, trans mount, steering rack bushings, because why not? I'm already in there, I might as well just do everything while I can. This thing, I had to do an intake manifold gasket. Now, it's pretty cool because I didn't have to take out the whole manifold. What I did is I pulled the bolts off and stuck a small crowbar in there and just wedged it a little bit, just enough to slip the old one out and slip the new one in. That's all set. So this car is good, no more problems, good to go. I guess I'll try to film some of the process of doing this, because there's so much to do. It's really tough to actually stop and film and then go back and put new gloves on. So we'll see what I can do along the way. But basically, in the order I took this out, if anyone's wondering, I did airbox, hoses, drain the radiator. You can actually slide the radiator out without removing the fan shroud first. I slid that out like that, and then took the fan shroud out, and then took the fan off. Then I did the valve cover, and then basically just any hoses connected to it in the way, just slid everything to the side. I like to put all my bolts back where I got them. For example, like these for the radiator support and whatnot, so that way I don't have a whole thing of bolts and I'm like, where the hell did these come from? That's really gonna be it for right now. I gotta take the distributor off. Oh, big deal, mark your distributor, because the SR uses a cam angle sensor. These are very temperamental, so you wanna make sure you mark. I took a Sharpie and marked on the block in this, and then here. And I believe once you pull this cap off, the rotor that's inside, you want to mark where that is too, so you know everything goes back the same way. Super important, please use a timing light on this. It's supposed to be at 20 degrees. Make sure that this goes back in correctly and that you're at the right timing, otherwise you're gonna have a bad time. You might have to take this all back apart, which I am definitely gonna take my time to make sure the timing's correct. Other thing too is I actually got a OBD1 console port for this car, which I can plug my laptop into, which can actually display the timing, which is really cool. So I can check it here and check it on my laptop from inside, and then hopefully that matches up and it's all good to go once I put it back together. And the last thing I really gotta do before I start taking this front covers off is make sure I adjust this to top dead, so I gotta make sure this crank pulley is showing 0 degrees and that this intake and exhaust cam are facing out. And then basically I would also stick take the spark plug out and stick a screwdriver in here and rotate around until I see it go all the way up. And then these should line up with each other, and then that way I can be okay and start taking everything apart. So that's really it for now, and then I'll guess I'll see you guys next time. Welcome back, everyone. After about 9 hours of work, this is what I got. So we're at the point now we're just gonna clean up the oil pan and then timing cover / oil pump, thing like that, about to go back on. And I actually, if you can see, replaced the tensioner arm and the other guide that was broken, which it definitely was. I took out some of the upper guides as per the Nissan factory service manual that was updated and said to take them out. So this is about to go back together and should be like a brand new car again.
Back to Daddy Issues Garage.
Daddy issues always. But everything else in here actually looks super good. There's no damage on the chain, sprockets, or anything like that. Cams look super clean. So really excited about that. So this is gonna be probably a couple hours worth of work putting this back together, but should be pretty good. And I put new motor mounts in too, so that's fun.
And gloves, a bunch of sockets, extensions, all that. The sheet brother.
This episode's been brought to you by Starbucks. Freef. With the help of Joey, we're gonna get this thing back together today. And then now that I don't have timing chain slap, I can fucking send it.
We're doing the old thing. Shit blows. Alright, you want to give the up?
I'm sweaty. I probably smell. And there's RTV everywhere. So we got the oil pan on in the front cover. It sucks. And the sway bar is in my face, but I got a couple oil pan bolts left and we'll let it dry. And then I just got the timing sprocket. And that's about it. And then every small thing left to go back on. What's up, everyone? We got the oil pan back together. Got a bunch of this stuff back together. I really don't have too much left. I gotta put the gooseneck on for the thermostat and sprocket cover, valve cover. Once I do that, pulleys go back on, airbox goes back on, radiator goes in, fan goes in, fluids, and it's ready to start. Everything else is good. I got the new motor mounts in, and then I only have got a couple things left to do, really. It looks like a whole bin of garbage, but it's really not too much. Oh, yeah, I gotta make sure I clean the front cover because it's dirty from my dirty ass hands. But, and then put the distributor back in, check the timing. I mean, she shouldn't have moved because everything's still lined up top dead, and I marked the actual rotor on the distributor and the distributor housing itself, so when I put it back in, it should go right back into place. But yeah, I mean, almost done. What's up, everyone? We're back. I got the KA all running good now, which I'm really excited about because I was kind of worried there for a little bit. As you can see, it's just idling right now. I'm actually letting the coolant system bleed, which actually it's more or less done. So basically, I put a new radiator in it because I figured I might as well while I have everything apart, and it's not the plastic crappy one that comes from the factory. And I will say I had such a hard time with the distributor to get this thing running right. It's like if the thing was like a tooth or two off, it just wouldn't start. It was bogging like it wanted to start. It was like, you know, you could hear it backfiring out the tailpipe, but it was just off. So you gotta make sure that's completely right or it will not start. Basically what I did is I pulled the valve cover off and made sure it's a top dead center on the compression stroke. How I knew that is if you actually look at the cams, they'll be facing out, not in, and that's how you'll know. And plus you just line it up on the crank and all that stuff. But once I did that, I put the distributor in. You gotta make sure the rotor itself lines up with where the plug wire number 1 would be, and I did that and it started up, and then I just adjusted the timing after it got hot. Of course, I disconnected my TPS sensor, and then once it was all set and I set it, plugged it back in, rechecked it with the timing light, and actually I have an OBD1 console port adapter, so I can plug it into my laptop so I can digitally read it too. So it's at 20 degrees right now, which is perfect. And yeah, it's actually idling really smooth. And I have my heat on right now in the car. Obviously, you can't see that, but I'll show you what I'm looking at. It's kind of loud in here, but right there. See how there's still a little bit of air coming out? Once that air is gone, then you should know that it should be fully bled. You do it with that open, obviously, because you don't want to pressurize that and have that thing fucking shoot off if you're trying to mess around with it while it's hot. And I got my Navan bumper being all patched up and painted, and then that'll be going on here. And then I just need to do my clear headlights, and this thing's gonna be looking awesome. So I mean, that's all I really got for this project. I know I didn't film a lot of the timing guide, fix, whatnot, but if you have any questions, let me know. It really wasn't difficult. It just takes a lot of time because it's kind of lengthy. But other than that, she should be running like a brand new car. No more timing chain slap, which is awesome. So I will see you guys next time when we go out and start filming with this car. So